Hello, listeners, and welcome to Bite-Sized Tales, the audio flash fiction podcast. In this week's story, a husband gives his wife a birthday gift that is out of this world. Birthday Gift, written and read by Wayne Cole. The door opened to room R2L243 with an artificial whooshing noise. The technology behind the mechanism was virtually silent, but early focus groups provided feedback that it didn't make the experience special enough. Guests could get silent doors on Earth, and for the premium the rooms cost, it was believed that every aspect should be unique to the experience. The early focus groups would likely barely recognize the experience paying guests received at open, but they were directly responsible for it. Jamie rushed into the room, heading straight for the curved viewport that took up most of the outer wall. "Oh my God, Sam, I still can't believe we're actually here." Her eyes went wide as she took in the view of Earth through the curved, reinforced glass. She could make out the continents beneath the moving clouds. The sight was only visible for about 15 seconds before the station's rotation shifted to a view of space. She found that almost equally breathtaking. "Anything for you, dear. After all, you only turned 50 once, unlike 39. He laughed and moved to duck as she threw a pillow from the bed at him. Samuel had not gotten used to half-Earth gravity yet, and found himself moving in a more exaggerated manner than intended. Despite trying to recover, he found himself stumbling and falling onto the carpet. On Earth, a fall like that might have caused an injury, but here it barely hurt. The pillow continued out the door and hit the luggage robot in the face display. Jamie was by Sam's side in an instant. "Are you okay?" He just laughed back at her. "I'm fine. No, I'm great." He jumped up in a way he had not done in decades. The robot did not react to the scene. It placed the pillow back on the bed and then placed their bags into a cabinet. With its task complete, it turned to the couple. "Would you like a room orientation?" "Yes, please," Sam replied. A small screen lit up on the wall next to the window. "Please turn your attention to the viewport control. Some guests may experience a level of disorientation from constant motion. If for any reason you feel discomfort from the view, the window can be turned opaque." A square panel lit up on the wall. "If this is not sufficient, basic medications, including those for motion sickness, have been provided. Your room will be charged for their use." The robot continued to roll around the room, highlighting features for 3 minutes before wrapping up its programmed presentation with, "Finally, all these features can be accessed by voice command. Simply start your command by addressing the automated systems with the word computer. Please attempt to lower the lighting by 10% to ensure you have understood the instructions and that the system does not have any difficulty interpreting your requests." Sam gestured his right hand to Jamie, indicating that she should do the honor. "Computer, lower lighting by 10%. "Acknowledged. Lighting levels lowering by 10%. The robotic voice came over the unseen speakers hidden in the room. Previous iterations had used AI voices that sounded indistinguishable from a human, but the focus group had found it to be disconcerting. They had irrationally felt like they were being watched when a more realistic voice replied. Similarly, live employees had carried bags and done orientation, but a very vocal member of the group felt it would be cool if they used robots that looked similar to ones on a popular TV series. "Very good. If you have any questions, you can address them to the computer at any time. Thank you again for staying with us at Orbital Platform 1. We hope your experience is out of this world." The robot turned towards the door and rolled through it before it closed behind. "Out of this world? Really?" Jamie laughed at the closed door. She approached her husband and gave him a strong kiss. "Thank you. It's everything I ever dreamed. And in this gravity, I don't feel any aches or pains at all." "I'm so glad you like it. Were you surprised for a change?" "Oh, you got me this time. I had no idea. I still don't know how you paid for it. And you promised you wouldn't ask. I'm going to hold you to that." He smiled down at her, feeling supremely pleased with himself for managing to pull off the gift. It took 3 years of planning and careful investing with a private account to make it happen. Even then, he had to cash in multiple favors to get his place on the list and ensure the trip would happen for her birthday. As her arthritis back pain had gotten worse over the previous year, he was concerned that she would not pass the medical clearance for the trip. "You'll eventually have to tell me, but for now, I'll just accept it. This is the best birthday I've ever had. Just wait, we're scheduled for 0G dancing in the 0G Hub Ballroom." The central axis pillar of the station did not rotate like the rings to allow for sections that did not have gravity. He braced himself as she hugged him tightly, but still unadjusted to the lower gravity, they ended up falling backwards towards the bed. When she kissed him and he saw the look in her eyes, he realized that it might not have been an accident after all. She smiled at him before looking up at the ceiling. "Computer, lights off." And now a word from our author. I might have spent far too much time preparing for this story by doing math and conceptualizing how a hotel in space would work. I know it doesn't come off in the story itself, but I actually did all the math to make it scientifically plausible. I figured out exactly how big the station would have to be, how wide the rings are, to be able to have a view of Earth that would last the specific amount of time in the story. That was one of the hard parts, is designing a space station with the spin to allow for gravity, but still being able to see the Earth and not having it just shoot past the windows. Also with gravity, I liked the idea of it not being full Earth gravity. You don't need full Earth gravity for something that's a vacation. And as I thought about it, I realized that could actually be an advantage to people with chronic pain. As I have a bit of a bad knee myself at this point, that got me thinking about how a trip to space could actually be therapeutic for it. There were other inspirations that went into the story, but really, when writing it, it just ended up becoming a bit of a math exercise and me geeking out, trying to figure out how it could work. This chapter of Bite-Sized Tales has been brought to you under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives, 4.0 International License. Intro and outro music is Fantasy Motion by Alexander Nakarada, provided under a Creative Commons 4.0 license. If you enjoyed what you heard today, we would greatly appreciate reviews and recommendations to your friends. Finally, for more information about our authors, please visit bitesizedtales.com. We look forward to reading to you next time.